Do you remember when we lived miles and miles and miles apart? Mm-hmm. And we used to film remotely?
Dude, I hated it.
Where would you sit? Would you sit at your desk?
Yes, literally at my desk most of the time. But there were a couple of moments when I felt like the kitchen area was quieter. So I would sit in the dining room if it was late enough.
Damn.
What about you? Where would you sit?
I would sit in the old podcast room.
R.I.P.
So I would sit in there, or I would sit at the desk that was in my room. Then there was this one time, do you remember when I was house sitting? And I was even farther from you. So I would have to sit at my friend's, because I was watching my friend's cats and dogs. She went to Australia. Mm-hmm. So I had to sit on her couch, but I had to literally be like, I'm not moving because this couch is going to make noise. Mm-hmm. So I remember doing that too. I will say sometimes when we would talk, because sometimes when we would talk, one of us would go off and, we're listening to each other. Mm-hmm. But I knew I had more time to react to you because there would be a pause, like a lull. Yeah. So sometimes we would say something. We would just kind of sit there in silence like, okay, what the fuck am I going to say next? So in those moments where you would go off, I'd be grading like, okay, I need to fucking put these in real quick.
God. You're like, I have time to work. That's so funny.
Yeah, but I remember clearly. But during that time, we kind of filmed bangers, dude, right?
Know. It's so sad that we can't go back in time.
Which ones
do you film them through video? We should have at least done like a Skype or Zoom or I mean?
We wanted to, but remember I had very shitty internet where I lived.
Oh yeah.
And we couldn't figure out how to do that. Mm-hmm. I am very curious to know which ones we filmed.
I remember we did The Har by David Sodergren. We did Iron Widow by...
I don't remember her name. But that one was really good. That was the one with polyamory.
Wait, I want to know the author's name. Sharon J. Zhao was the author's name. We did that one. And we did one of our tier lists. Not a tier list, but like the end of the year.
Yes, we did one of those. Damn, dude. We've done a lot. Do you ever look back and just think of how baby we look?
Yes. I just look back and I'm like, oh my God, look at me full of life. But isn't it crazy how that's always going to be true no matter what time period you're in? Like, obviously, in the future, you're going to look back at this moment and be like, wow, baby.
She was so baby. No, yeah, you're totally right. Mm-hmm. Okay, now I found him. Pen Pal, we did remote. To Kill a Kingdom, we did remote. Iron Widow, we did remote. Sunbearer Trials was remote.
Oh, that's so sad.
It is, because that was a good one.
That was a good one. That one was fun.
Mm-hmm. The Darkest Minds.
Oh, what a loss.
Cemetery Boys. Aww. Dude, Bridge Kingdom was remote.
That's so sad.
That's such a good... Would we ever redo things?
Maybe. Why not? That'd be like a bonus, though.
Yeah, that would be a bonus. We'd have to get drunk as fuck.
Oh my God, Ninth House. I do remember filming that.
And Hellbent.
The Blood King? No. King of Battle and Blood. That's what it's called.
We did both of those remote. Mm-hmm. Damn, dude. Skin of the Sea. These Infinite Threads, which is funny. It's funny hearing that people watched that episode. Because I'm like, you really watched it without us in it?
Mm-hmm. And it's so sad because in that episode, we talked about meeting Tahereh Mafi, which is the author of These Infinite Threads.
Yeah.
And that one was a really long episode. So
that one was. And it was really good. Mm-hmm. I'm glad we don't do remote anymore.
Me too.
That shit was so hard. Lining up the audios sucked.
Fourth Wing, we did remote. That's crazy.
Yeah. Confessions.
Why were we doing remote for so long? What the hell were we doing? I don't remember.
It's because we lived so far away from each other. And it was hard to make time for you to come on one weekend. So we
weren't bulk filming? Is that why? We probably weren't.
I think what we were doing instead was like, as soon as you read it, let me know and we'll film. Oh. That's what we had decided to do.
That's actually sometimes better, though, because then it's like fresh in your mind.
No, yeah. It did help with that. But it just felt like it would have been better if we were in person because sometimes jokes just hit better.
I know. You know what I mean? Because we're like bouncing off of each other.
Yeah. I really hope that people do listen to those episodes because they're really good.
I know. I'm proud of those ones. But Cheli, let me ask you a off-topic question.
Okay.
Thinking back to your childhood, is there anything you remember watching that gave you the creeps? Like, is there anything that you were a little bit scared of?
Put a picture of him here. The fucking Tasmanian devil. That shit scared me.
Like, for real?
Yeah, it like actually scared me. My mom said that I used to cry when I would look at it.
Oh my god.
And she had bought in my brother's a Tasmanian devil chair. Like, you know, the little kid chairs? That shit was so scary.
Yeah.
That shit?
You did
I couldn't.
Like really? That is so interesting.
That was my thing.
Okay.
What about you?
I remember I never really liked any of like the clay shows, which is so funny because I do love Nightmare Before Christmas. But I don't, there's nothing that I can really like pinpoint. But don't you remember that there was like a trend when there was like a lot of like clay movies?
Yes.
I don't know. They weren't like my favorite. I don't remember if I was like really scared of them, but they did kind of creep me out. And Courage the Cowardly Dog really creeped me out.
Really?
I know. I feel like I'm the only one who didn't love it. It's so funny because my fiance would tell me, "Oh my god, I used to love that show." It like really fucking scared me a lot.
Do you remember the episode? Because
Yes.
I also really liked it.
I didn't say I really liked it.
Oh no, sorry. I was also really scared of it, but I really liked it. There was an episode where Courage had opened the door. And it was called King Ramsay's Curse.
Yes.
And when he opened the door, there was just a 3D man standing outside. I remember seeing that. First of all, I remember seeing this and going like, that's the most realistic man I've ever seen.
Can you send that to me?
Yeah.
So I can post it? Right
yes. Here? But I just remember seeing that, and that fucking scared the shit out of me. Oh my gosh. It just had really like
weird art.
Yes. I loved it. I loved it. Do you think you'd ever rewatch it?
I think I would rewatch it now, but I really, really did not like it when I was little. I think I did watch it though. But
you think it was your brother watching it?
I don't remember, to be honest, but there's some episodes that I recognize like that. I remember that scene, but I don't think I would seek it out, to be honest. It was just playing.
Do you think if you had a child and then you figured out that they were like deathly afraid of Bluey, would you like, fuck, this kid's so dumb.
Oh my god, not Bluey.
You know what I mean though?
I don't think I would.
You think parents look at their kids and go like, no, I get why they're scared of it. You know? I don't know.
I think so.
How would you deal with that? Are you scared of it too?
You probably. Well, I mean, if your child tells you, "Mom, I think there's someone in the closet," would you go check the closet? Or would you?
Hell no, we're moving. Grab everything.
Or would you be like,
"Oh my god, I would be so fucking scared." I would be so fucking scared. I saw a TikTok of a girl who, she's a mom, and her little 1-year-old was like, "I need to say goodbye to who's in the closet."
Oh my god.
She had to react like there's no one in the closet, and she had to open the door and show the girl there's no one in the closet. But she was like, but I was fucking shaking. I was like, if there's someone in there, fuck. But you have to be like the bigger person.
I don't know, dude. I'm like, the idea is really scary, but obviously I feel like I would have to play like, no, I mean, because what if there is something in the fucking closet?
But don't you also think that it's less scary if you know you're home? Like if you were here, I don't want to say, but you know, if you were here and you brought your niece and she was just like, oh, there's someone here, because you know you're home.
My home, yeah.
It's a little less scary.
That's true. I think I would feel less scared because I'm comfortable here.
But if they're like very specific, like, oh, someone walked through the door, and it's like, then we're walking right out that door.
Then I'm fucking leaving. Let's go, girl. Well, Cheli, do you think a story revolving around a scary show could fix your life?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, welcome to another episode of the Book Fix podcast, a podcast where we fix lives one book at a time. I'm your host, Yajaira.
And I'm your host, Cheli. Just a heads up, when we talk about books on our show, are we a show?
I think we are.
Podcast show? I don't know. That kind of just changed everything for me.
I'm on now, girl.
When we talk about books on here, we will spoil the fuck out of these books, but we're also just going to add a little bit of spice into it, you know, because sometimes there are words in between lines, but then there's more words in between those lines.
Yeah.
That's the shit
I feel like we're misleading when we say that, though, because I don't think we embellish that much.
No, we don't embellish, but I think we're fucking funny.
But I feel like when we do embellish, like when we talked about Serpent and the Wings of Night, we let it be known that we're embellishing. Do
you remember when we ended that episode and we were like, it wasn't a comedy, and that was actually very sad.
It was actually a really sad book, but for some reason we were treating it like it was the funniest shit ever.
Yeah. So, sorry.
Stay tuned. We'll let you know.
So, can I just say,
yes,
one thing, love.
Yes.
I forgot his name. David Sodergren, the author of this book we're talking about, which is Rotten Tommy. He's kind of our boy.
Yeah, kind of.
Friend of the show. We've never talked to him, but I am so excited to be talking about him because he wrote The Horror, and that was one of our episodes that I hold very dear to my heart. And it was remote.
That one was one of our remote episodes. Yeah. It's so sad because I feel like we had a lot of fun talking about that book.
Do you remember when we would film remote and you and I, and it's not just our remote episodes, sometimes we finish filming and we're just kind of like, that one's a banger.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt about that book. So it kind of makes me sad that she's just like a gem left untouched.
Yeah, so it's really sad.
Please watch this episode, but please listen to our The Horror episode because that book is so fucking good. So going into this one, the idea of lost media being put online or being found, I'm so into that shit.
Yeah, me too.
Those are the YouTube videos that I used to watch. I used to watch like iceberg videos of like breaking down certain medias. I'm so fucking into that shit. Okay. So our story starts with our main character whose name is...
No, our story starts off with like two other characters. Actually, it starts up with William. William something. Don't know his full name. And he's just like letting us know that he fucking hates children.
He hates fucking everything.
He can't stand a child. A child is near him and he's ready to fight. So unfortunately for him, he really wanted to be in the television business, and sadly he got stuck with a children's network. Yeah. And his boss has been kind of MIA a little bit. And so he's just like, fuck, I need to get paid tomorrow. So I'm just going to go over to this guy's house because he's not answering my phone calls, my emails, nothing. So he goes to this guy's house, and already when he like gets in through the gate, he notices that things are off. Just based on the way that the car is parked.
It feels like it was in a hurry.
It was very rushed. So he goes up to the door, knocks, and I don't think he answers for a minute. No. But he can hear like shit happening inside. And so he keeps knocking. Finally, his boss... don't remember his name.
Jacob?
Maybe. Jacob opens the door and he's just like, did you see anybody? Anybody around you, behind you? Like it was somebody following you? And William is just like, no, what are you talking about? There's nobody here. So his boss, Jacob, pulls him in, locks the door, and he keeps repeating over and over that he has to stay inside. Like there's like this saying.
Leave the doors closed day and night or else Tommy will come inside.
Something like
that.
And so he's really frantic, right? And let's pause for a second. How are you feeling in this moment?
Okay. I have a lot of things to say leading up to this.
Okay.
I was not a fan of the dialogue at all.
Yes.
In this book.
100%. I agree with you.
And also the side, like, inner monologue moments, because there was a moment where William, when he was talking about how much he hated working on the kids network, he hated children, he hated puppets, he hated literally everything in his fucking life.
He did.
There was one part when they had asked him, okay, but you're gonna produce a kids show with puppets and with music. Yeah. And in his head he was like, I'm gonna put all of my money towards this because quality is more important instead of quantity, except for when it comes to my bed.
Dude, I love that you brought that up because I did highlight that moment and I was like, wait, Okay. Wait. Hold on.
Me too.
Hold on. You don't appreciate quality in the bedroom, so which means you fucking suck.
Yeah.
You prefer quantity. What does that mean? That you have a lot of lovers?
That you just sleep with women?
That you just sleep around, but the quality sucks? So.
And the thing is, too, that was never mentioned again.
No.
So I was like, why the fuck did you throw that in here? What I dislike about horror books, I'm sorry, David. I really love you and respect you.
We don't even know. We don't know David.
I love the horror. So I'm going to take that out. The horror. I love and respect you as a book.
Oh my God.
But your brother, Rotten Tommy, it ain't it. So what I fucking hate about certain horror stories is when it has to be grotesquely. Grotesquely?
Grotesquely?
Did I make a word? Okay. When it is so grotesque when it's talking about sex.
I agree.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know.
That's so disgusting. And it makes me feel like people are unhygienic. So I'm just kind of like.
That's how I felt too. I felt very gross. So when he's here with his boss at his house, his boss is, again, very frantic. And he's just like, oh my God, keep everything locked because Tommy, whatever. And fucking William is just like, dude, are you good? Like did you take something? Yeah. Because I don't know what you're on, but you haven't been answering my phone calls. Like, are we out of business now? What's going on?
Yep.
And then I don't remember why, but then all of a sudden he's just like, he's right there. Tommy is right there.
You don't see him?
You don't see him?
He is right there. And then fucking Jacob goes, you know what, Tommy, talking to the corner of the room, and William's like, what the fuck are you? Okay. You know what, Tommy?
Wait. Hold on. Pause. Trigger warning. This book is very gory. Go ahead, Cheli.
How can I be scared of something I can't see? Papa.
Ew.
Dude.
That was disgusting the way that it described it, though.
So the first eye, his beautiful eye.
We don't need to be too detailed.
Okay, let's just say he took them out in a way where after I read it, I felt like I needed to wash my hands.
It was disgusting.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I know I don't like it. That period. That's the end of my sentence. And what was funnier to me was that, like, didn't it kind of feel like William didn't really react?
Yeah, William was just watching.
So wait, are we gonna work on our show or?
Am I fired? Like, am I gonna get paid? Can you let me know, please? Thank you. I really want to buy a boat, and I need to make sure that I have enough money.
But then we have fucking Jacob on the floor, and he's just like, keep your doors locked day and night. Keep your doors locked. And fucking William's like, what the fuck ever? Peace. 40 years later, we have a chapter that is just keep the door locked night and day. Keep the door locked night and day. And it's repeated over and over. And the last sentence says, keep the door locked night and day so Tommy can't.
But if you look at it, there's a different letter that's capitalized. So the capitalized letters spell out Rotten Tommy.
Dude! What?
Wait, you didn't notice?
No. See
right there. R-O. Oh, T.
Ew, I don't like that.
Why?
Ew.
Tommy, get off of me.
Ew.
It's disgusting, I know. Ugh. Anyway, 40 years later, now we are back. Oh, no, sorry.
Wait, I'm kind of spooked.
Now we're to our actual main character, whose name is Becky
Sharp.
So what happens with Becky?
So first of all, Becky, she's a screenwriter,
yes.
Who ain't writing. So
I mean, I feel seen, I feel heard.
And she is on the spectrum. She's autistic and struggles with conversation. So it's funny because her house is getting re-roofed, I think. And anytime people come in and go like, oh, hey, Becky, how's writing going? She's like, I fucking hate this. Don't. You think they can talk to me? Why are they talking to me?
Dude, it's so funny because, like, there was even a moment when she was with the construction workers and then she just leaves abruptly without saying anything else.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, my God, girl. Yes. I feel that shit. And everyone behind her was just like, damn, she's kind of rude.
Yeah. So she was recently diagnosed with autism.
Yes.
So this is a recent discovery. And since then, she has been practicing demasking. So she doesn't hide her quirks that she used to have.
Well, so she still has them, but.
Yeah. But now they're more open.
Yes. So she's not afraid to show them. She knows
all the words to Monty Python. Mm-hmm. She sleeps with her pillow pet.
The penguin?
Yeah, Grumpus.
Mm-hmm. She has a lot of Lord of the Rings facts.
Yeah, she has a lot of plushies on her bed. Just like a lot of them. Mm. So, you know, it's just who she is. But anyway. The first strange occurrence is that while these construction workers are fixing the house, they made a hole in the wall because they found a box. Mm-hmm. And this box is kind of small, and it has 3 VHS tapes in it, mm-hmm. along with a paper that is a missing persons poster. Mm-hmm. And Becky kind of plays it off like, I don't know what that is. I've never seen it. But the person on the missing person poster is her when mm-hmm. she was 4 years old.
Yeah, which is kind of confusing because it says her name on mm-hmm. it. So,
how did you feel when her husband, and her husband's not Andy, John?
Yes, John.
When her husband John came home and kind of was very, it's probably fake.
So I might be mixing the moments, but her husband John fucking hated him from the start because there was a moment when Becky was like, "Oh, you're home early. I get off at 5. It's 7:30. Yeah. What are you talking about?" And he just felt so uninterested in anything that Becky had to say. So Becky was like showing him these VHS tapes, showing him this poster, and she was just like, "No, that's me on the poster." Yep. But can I say something that kind of irked me a little bit?
Yes.
I fucking hated the way that this moment played out. Well, describing it to us, the reader, because Becky is telling us this is me in the poster and it looks like my mom, and my mom went missing 40 years ago. So I was so confused thinking, wait, so is that you or is that your mom? I don't get it. And why is your mom missing as a child? Like, it literally confused me so much.
But I feel like that's an issue with dialogue. And another ick with this is I understand our character Becky lived in a place where people had accents. This is just a personal pet peeve of mine. Mm-hmm. But in writing, when someone has an accent, that doesn't mean the word is spelled differently. And I don't like it when writers spell the word differently in order to show that they have an accent.
Yeah.
Just say they have an accent.
I get it.
You know?
I completely get that. Mm-hmm.
I fucking hate it. It made it so hard to read.
Yeah.
So she's over here telling her husband's like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Just let it go. Why don't you just throw him away?
But he's so like
paternal.
Yeah. And it's weird because even she brings that up, that he kind of reminds her of her dad. Ugh. Yeah. And
wasn't there a part where he was like, okay, go to sleep now?
Yeah, go to sleep because I know you. I know that you get fixated on things and you're going to be looking into this for hours on end. You're going to go to sleep, right? Right? And she's just like, yeah, I'm going to go to sleep. But then don't they have a fight? Is it this night that... Well, it's just whatever. Who cares?
So the reason they have a fight, because she doesn't just go to sleep. She Googles this place called Andy's Emporium, mm-hmm. in which she gets these 3 VHS tapes transferred to DVD, mm-hmm. and she gets the first one back.
Yeah.
And she goes home and watches it, and it's this show called Rumplejack. Mm-hmm. And this show has her mom in it.
Yeah.
And at first, it's like just a normal, weird, bad kids show.
But there is a moment when she doesn't notice it, but it's described to us, the reader, that there's like a shadow in the tape.
Yeah.
That looks like a person. Mm-hmm. But she like rewinds and doesn't notice it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. it was describing it in a weird way, in my opinion. But I was getting the same vibe as like the Ring, 7 days thing.
Yeah.
Where I was like, okay, there's something in this VHS tape then.
Yes. So it gets weird when she sees... Well, let me describe it a little bit. So this Rumplejack show, it kind of feels like... Fuck, what's that one show everyone really likes? Hello Neighbor? It's not Hello Neighbor. That's a video game. This show reminds me a lot of those kids shows where there's like people interacting with puppets. So very much like Blue's Clues.
I was thinking like Barney for some reason.
That too. I feel that. So this human, which is Becky's mom is like talking to the villagers of our Uncle Jack, and she'll go up to Sausage King and be like, Sausage King, what's wrong? I have no sausages. Oh no, how do we help Sausage King?
Yeah.
You know, and then she goes to Stick 'em Up, which is the town sheriff. And he's just a puppet that's like on a horse, whatever. And Stick 'em Up starts saying like, you know, I have everyone in jail except for King Sausage, but you know, everyone else is. And he's like, well, what about him? And then you just start hearing people repeat and repeat, what about him? What about him? And you see Becky's mom's hands go up and they're bloody and bruised. And she starts choking Stick 'em Up. And then there's like screaming in the background happening. And then it cuts. And Becky over here with her hyperfixation type ass is like, oh my God, I need to watch this 600 times.
In slow-mo.
In slow-mo, back and forth. In sepia tone. I need to watch and dissect this shit. John comes home and then he just like dismisses it.
Yeah. And he comes home late again.
Oh, God. So I fucking hated that point where he was just like, why can't you just be normal?
He keeps bringing up the fact that she used to be normal.
Yeah.
He's like, you were not like this before the diagnosis.
Before the autism.
But now, you're just weird.
Yeah. And he like just goes off on her like, I hate it that you wear these types of pajamas. Who fucking knows the words to Monty Python? Who fucking does this? And he what the fuck?
He goes off on her, yeah.
And then she gets mad and throws a cup of water on him.
Yeah, she throws a drink at him. But wasn't it because they were fighting because he told her to go to sleep?
And then no more computer time for you.
He's like, computer time is done, okay? And she's just like, I'm not a fucking child.
And so then he takes the computer and she repeats that.
The laptop.
Yeah. And then she keeps repeating that. I'm not a child. I'm not. And then he's like, oh my God, you're throwing a tantrum. Calm down.
Even in her point of view, she brings up the fact that she hasn't felt this like bubbling of emotions in a very long time. And so I think she does identify it as a tantrum.
Yeah.
So she's just like, I just can't help it because I'm so angry. And then then he tells her, stop throwing a tantrum.
Yes. And she goes to her room and she just stays awake.
No, but doesn't he like push her against the wall?
Yeah.
He like chokes her, I think, or has his hands around her neck, and he tells her to stop.
And then he walks away.
Yeah.
And she goes upstairs.
She goes to her room, locks the door, puts a chair to block the doorknob, and she goes to bed.
Yes. We forgot to mention the whole reason this argument also started was not only because of the tape, but she had sworn that she had heard the singing from the tape in her house.
Oh,
so she got a golf club, I think, and started swinging where she thought someone was standing, and she shattered a window. So the next day when she wakes up, she wants to go pick up the other two tapes, and John had left her a note and was like, I know that sometimes you struggle with controlling emotions. I do too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, babe.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean for that to happen the way that it did.
It sucks though, because she even kind of justifies it. She's like, no, he's not.
He's not like that though.
Yeah.
And it's really sad because she knows that abuse sometimes just happens, and then you try to justify it.
Yeah.
Because even before this moment, I don't know if you remember when she would mention that he's very just like uninterested in her.
Yes.
She would think, but at least he's never been violent. And then that moment happened when he pushed her against the wall, had his hands on her throat. But then she still kind of tried to justify it a little bit of, well, it's not his fault.
He did it because he cares and he's looking out for me.
Can we pause for a second?
Yes. We didn't talk about.
Let's talk about Andy.
Okay.
Andy's Emporium.
So Andy, the guy who is changing all of these VHS to DVD, he's kind of a creep.
He's kind of weird, right?
I didn't like him.
Yeah, he was definitely, I don't know if creep is the way that I would describe him. I would just describe him as weird.
You know why I think he's a creep? Because of the way this fucking book is written. Because when they describe things, it just sounds gross. But anyway, he had seen the first tape too. And when
first, when when Becky had first shown up.
Yes.
He had promised her, all 3 of these tapes are going to be ready for you tonight at 6 or whatever. And she even paid extra for this. But when she showed up, he had only had 1 ready. And when she leaves and he promises that they're going to be ready on Monday, he's thinking to himself, oh my God, wait until my partner in like YouTube, not like partner romantically, but his friend. When his friend learns about what I found, I've hit the jackpot. We're going to be rich.
So it turns out he has a YouTube channel where he posts lost media. Mm-hmm. And he just feels like this is gold. This is it. So while transferring the other 2, he's kind of bored because he's like, these fucking look like home movies.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. Whatever. And while he's transferring them, I fucking hate this part. It describes him like, I gotta take a piss. I have no bathroom here, so I'm gonna go pee outside. Pulls his cock out.
Oh my God.
Why are you describing? It's a horror book. It's not meant to be gross. It could still be a horror book and not have to say the word cock.
Yeah.
He could have just pissed.
He could have not pissed. What do I care?
I know. He could have pissed before the job, so I didn't have to be there with him.
Yeah, I didn't need to witness this.
And it described every single point of that.
Yeah, like I needed to know.
You needed to tell me when he unzipped, put it back in, zipped. Like, I didn't need to know that shit. Man was still peeing in his pants, by the way, when he put his shit away.
I know.
You weren't done. Pull that back out.
Now, listen, I don't care. I didn't need to see this, but now that we're here, fucking finish.
I know. That's fucking disgusting.
I do want to bring up, though, that we forgot to mention, when Becky went to pick up her DVDs, she was paranoid, and she thought she saw somebody following her.
For the first DVD.
For the first DVD, yes. So now that we're back here to tonight of, Andy, him transferring, pissing, whatever, he hears something in his shop.
And mid piss,
oh God,
he's like, he sees this huge figure standing over him.
Like almost 7 feet tall.
And he's just like, still pissing. Hey, what are you doing here? Trying to pick a fight with me? With Andy? Cock out Andy? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And this guy then, he has a meat cleaver on him.
Oh God.
And Andy fucking putting his dick in, still pissing.
Tries to doesn't he try to make a joke though? He's like, listen, if you're looking for money, go down the street. You're not gonna find it here.
Mm-hmm. So then he walks away, but the guy follows him and just ends Andy in the most brutal way possible.
It's so fucking brutal. How did you feel about the gore?
I didn't care for it. But I will say, out of the 2 gory books that we read this bulk, this one I was a little more okay with because I don't want to say it's justified because it's not, but it's justified to the character who was doing it. Like I felt like it wasn't just random. It was because that character was known for doing that shit. Okay. I don't know how else to describe that.
Okay, I disagree. I did not like the gore in this book. I felt like...
Do you feel like it was kind of like murder porn?
Yeah, that's how I felt. It felt like murder porn. It kind of gave me the same vibe as when we watched Terrifier. Like, it's... Okay, yeah, it's interesting that you're able to fucking show this without actually being murder, but it's like, I don't need to see this.
We're talking about porn.
Yes, let's talk about porn.
The fucking next scene with John, he's at Becky's. No,
not yet.
Never mind.
Because don't you remember that Becky goes to visit her sister? So Becky goes to visit her sister. Her name was Flora. And fucking Flora was like in her panties and bra, and she's just like fucking bent over on the bed, and she's just like, what are you doing here? You're killing the vibe. You're killing my vibe. I'm about to get laid right now. Like, leave. And Becky is trying to tell her about the VHS tapes, about the missing poster. She's trying to, have someone to talk to with, And Flora just completely dismisses her.
So then, whatever, Becky wants to go pick up the second and third tape, but Andy's not opening the door. She sees that the side door is open, I think, goes behind the counter to the back room and finds Andy's mess of his body that's left after the meat cleaver.
Yeah.
Before calling the police, she puts both VHS tapes away because she knows that they're not going to let her pick them up if they have to keep it as evidence. Mm-hmm. And she meets a police officer by the name of, no, he's a detective, Detective Larkin.
Yeah.
He is a little...
He like hits on her.
Right? I didn't know what to make of that.
He hits on her, but also he's like, well, did you do it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like kind of trying to see if she's guilty.
Yep.
But also
he kind of also believes that it's not her, because it was like whoever did that went off, and I don't think you're big enough to go off like that.
Yeah.
But then he's like, okay, but here's my personal cell phone number if you need a, I don't know, like chat.
And she's like, yeah, let me go home to my husband. And he looks clearly disappointed. Yeah. And I remember that part where she was like, wow, I was able to pick up that he was hitting on me.
Yeah.
Because sometimes she doesn't pick social cues, but.
Good for her. Mm-hmm. So she goes home. No, she doesn't go home. So she realizes she's going to need a VHS
tape.
Yeah.
VHS, whatever.
Yeah. So then she goes to visit her dad. So we didn't talk much about her dad, but her mom is missing, but she kind of lost both parents because her dad has dementia.
Yeah.
And she constantly does visit him, but it's just hard because he doesn't remember who she is. And also he makes sexual comments about her. You didn't have to add that in the book.
That was so, oh my God. Yes, you did not have to add that in the book. Like, even if it happens, which God, I hope it doesn't, because that's so...
You could have just written, like, you know, he makes obscene comments, but it's something I'm going to have to...
Yeah.
You could have said that, and I would have understood what you meant.
Mm-hmm. But he's just, like, talking about her butt, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then she plays the tape for the both of them, because they're watching it together. But he had already kind of made a comment. Yeah, that you don't say his name.
Mm-hmm. He gets very into the tape. There's several things we learn here. He knew about the missing poster, but he said, you didn't go missing. You went on vacation to Rumpeljack.
Yeah.
And then when the tape starts getting played, he recognizes his wife. He recognizes the area, and he recognizes that Tommy is someone you should lock the door, never knock, or else he'll gut you up, and like all this shit. And then it gets to a point where Tommy shows up on the screen, and he kind of looks like a tall ass man with a very big doe-like head. And the dad is like shaking, because I'm guessing he's in the hospital. I'm guessing the TV is up mounted on the wall, and it's an old like CCTV. Those shits are heavy.
Yeah.
So he's shaking it, and she's trying to get him to stop. She's like holding his waist, trying to pull him back, but because of the shaking, the TV falls on him and just crushes his head.
Yeah.
And he dies. And the nurses come in, and she immediately runs away.
Yeah. Because
she knows that, like, shit's about to go down, you know?
It was not smart for her to just run away, though. But
nope.
Yeah, she runs away.
This is where she goes home. And she's like, I need to tell someone.
I think after this moment, it's the funeral.
Oh, you're right.
So she attends her dad's funeral, and she brings up the fact that it's hard for her because she can't really cry in front of people. So everyone is expecting her to be like, you know, obviously grieving her father, but she's very serious. And even Flora is crying. And I think Becky makes like a joke like, oh, well, at least we know that this parent is dead. Who knows about mom, right?
Yep.
And Flora is just like, what the fuck, you know?
The Detective Larkin came.
Yeah. Well, actually, before you get to that.
Yeah.
So then John, her husband, is like, okay, well, let's go home. And she doesn't want to go home. So he's like, okay, well, then I'll take your sister home then. Bitch, I fucking knew. I immediately, when the sister was introduced, also because, remember, she fought with her husband. I forgot why, again, after she saw Flora. And he was like, Flora is saying that you're harassing her. So when he said that, I was like, what kind of a fucking sister would say that you're harassing them?
Yep.
When you're just trying to, you know,
figure out more about your missing mom.
Yeah. So I knew that that was a whole fucking mess.
And even I think Becky starts to question it, but she always gets cut off when she starts questioning things. Mm-hmm. But she goes on a little walk, and Detective Larkin joins her, and he's just like, I've seen Tommy too.
Yeah.
So please, you have my number. Please call me if anything happens, or if you need anything, or if, I don't know, you want to just
want to talk a little bit,
watch Netflix, I don't know,
if you want to chill.
And so then I'm just gonna skip to, she goes home, she buys herself a VHS like thing to put cassettes. She watches the third tape, and that's when she sees a home video of her parents freaking out about Becky not being home. And they talk about Tommy in the video. Like a voice talks about Tommy.
Becky is home, though. She's hiding under the bed, remember?
But they think that she's gone, right?
Yeah, but the camera is like towards her. Mm-hmm. And then you just see Tommy's boots in the frame.
Hell no.
And he drags her out of under the bed. And so that's when she learns that that's the same day that she went missing.
Yes. Her dad, also in the video, you can hear him say, like, he finally got to her. Mm-hmm. So.
Damn.
Did you think that Tommy just wanted her for himself? Was it a sexual thing?
I have no fucking idea. I'll be honest, even at the end, I had no fucking idea.
It kind of just left more questions than answers. Yeah,
because Tommy really wanted Becky for some reason, but I'm just like,
why?
Why?
And also, why would Tommy agree to a settlement?
Yeah.
I don't understand that, but we'll get to that. So she watches this and she's like, oh my fucking God, I need to tell my sister. So next chapter. Her sister and her husband are fucking.
But the way that it fucking... Oh my God, I fucking hated that sentence. When it was like, Flora was riding her sister's husband.
Cock inside her vagina.
Slipped it out of her. Answered the phone. Fucking got bent over on the bed, and then he went in again, and it's just like she's talking to Becky on speaker.
And then in Flora's mind, she's like, wow, is this a new fetish?
This is kind of hot, actually. She's like thinking, you know what, it's not my fault because my sister will get a divorce, and I mean, obviously her husband is really big, and
technically I'm doing her a favor.
Yeah, and she didn't know how to appreciate that, and you know, if he's gonna cheat on her, then I guess I'm just not selfish.
And like, you know what the fuck I hated too? That was so fucking stupid. I thought it was dumb how she would be like, I'm never going to fall in love with this man. And then he's over here like, and then one day I'm going to make you. Oh no, because he makes a comment about how much he dislikes Becky for her autism. And then
he tells her, why is she like this? Like, do you know how unsexy it is for us to move all of her stuffed animals out of the bed?
Have sex and whatever. But then Flora mentions, well, it's not her fault she's autistic. Mm-hmm. And then John says, well, it's not my fault I fell in love with you. And then all of a sudden, everything that Flora was thinking, she was like, never mind, I can imagine a life with him. Mm-hmm. I was like, what the? You're so indecisive, and you're such a horrible sister for thinking this is okay.
I could not fucking stand this.
No, me neither.
And I remember I wrote a note, I hope they fucking die. But I knew they were going to die.
Yeah, they were going to. So then Becky hangs up.
But she heard the moaning.
She heard the moaning, and then she also texted John, and she heard his
ringtone.
Yep.
Or his whatever
and sound. She tries to justify it in her head, like, well, maybe he was just there to comfort her. I know they're really close.
With his penis.
Yeah. But then she also knew. She was like, I can't delude myself. Like, yeah. Of course he's cheating on me.
I thought it was so funny, though, when, because this was like, I think the next chapter she left with Detective Larkin on a fucking quest.
Because Detective Larkin almost got fucking killed by Tommy.
Yeah, well, so I thought it was so funny how all of a sudden she was like, my ex-husband. I thought it was funny though, because obviously it's obvious that he was cheating on her, but she didn't really get the confirmation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
And it isn't until they're at the bed and breakfast they're staying at, where they're in separate rooms. She has a moment where she takes off her ring, walks over, and she's like, I'm going to seduce you now. And I want you to know that my ex-husband was abusive, cheated on me with my sister, who also, by the way, doesn't even care that my mom is missing. And also, rotten Tommy, that's wild, isn't it? But I'm going to seduce you. Please be okay. I'm bringing Grumpus, my penguin. And she just goes off.
And but then she's like, do you have a problem with my pajamas? Be honest right now. I can take them off if you do. Because I think they had like carrots or bunnies. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But it was like something cutesy.
But I thought it was... This makes me sad. Because I actually, this chapter, and only this chapter, I really liked Larkin. Because he responds, he kind of laughs, and he's like, I don't have a problem with your pajamas.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't change anything.
I thought it was funny when he was like, wait, you're seducing me? I thought that was so fucking funny.
Yeah, and then when he closes the door behind her, she was like, did it work? Did that? And he's like, yeah, it worked.
He's like, consider me seduced.
I thought that was sweet.
Yeah, and you know what pissed me off?
Everything else that happened after?
We had a fucking fade to black for them. Are you fucking kidding me? No, like, because you're going to throw fucking the grossest sex with the sister and her ex-husband. But we're not going to get not even one fucking sentence with Becky and Detective Larkin.
You're right.
What the fuck was that?
You're right. Oh, my God. I'm so angry now, too.
I was so angry.
Oh, my God. I hate...
Not even one sentence.
Well, you know what? Maybe that's okay. Because afterwards, spoiler alert, Larkin's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Which is disappointing.
It's very disappointing. So they agree at this bed and breakfast that they're going to go to Rumplejack to find the mom. That was the whole point of them going on this trip. They had met up with someone who was on the Rumplejack show who was staying at an asylum. And he told them, this is where Rumplejack is. But by the way, you guys visited me. I'm going to fucking die now. Guess that's life. So they go to Rumplejack. And automatically fucking Larkin is like, what are we doing here? Why are we here?
Yeah.
I don't understand why we're here. I never agreed.
Freaking out.
Yeah.
But it's like, we already agreed to this.
And then when he shows up, it is scary because those puppets that were part of the Rumplejack show, they're actual things that are alive. So when you pull away the puppet part, there's just skin under there. It's like flesh. So then Larkin freaks out and he's like, I can't do this. I'm going to go. And she's just kind of like, we're here. We need to save my mom. The Sausage King needs sausages. Like, we got to do something.
And then he got so fucking triggered, I guess.
Yeah.
About her talking about the Sausage King. You know what I mean? Just her saying the Sausage King. He was like, what the fuck? God.
Yeah.
The Sausage King?
So then he says, if you don't get in the car right now, I'm leaving you. I don't care. You're weird. I'm leaving you. And it was like, what happened to the man I fell in love with yesterday?
He completely did a 180. Yeah. I was just thinking, this is not Detective Larkin. Who the fuck is this? No,
that was not his character. I would have been okay if he was freaking out and her just being like, hey, we're here. And he's like, you know what? You're right. You're right. Fuck Tommy. Like, I would have loved that shit, but that didn't happen. So it's fucking Becky que se pone las pilas. And she's like,
she
okay.
Puts on her batteries.
Yes. And she's like, Tommy lives in the lighthouse, which, by the way, Becky kind of loves lighthouses. So she's like, fuck yeah, I get to climb up there. I think my mom's up there because apparently my mom and Tommy, they're like each other's, I don't know what they are. But she goes, Larkin takes her and all of the town's villagers are like chasing them because they want to escape in the car. And Larkin tells her the whole time, I'm going to fucking leave you. I'm going to fucking leave you. I don't want to fucking stay. But then he does.
He does stay.
But he's scared the whole time, of course. He shoots at the villagers while she goes up there and sees her mom for the first time in a long time.
And her mom is just like disappointed. Like, why are you here? And she explains to her that she offered herself up to Tommy to save her.
Yes.
Because Tommy really wanted Becky for some reason.
But then the mom gets killed by Tommy.
Dude, it was actually kind of unsettling because she leaves. She's the bottom of the lighthouse and her mom gets thrown from the top of the lighthouse, or she throws herself. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it does describe that.
It describes it in very. That's why I don't like these descriptions. It's
but
gross.
Then what I hated was when she went back in the car and Larkin's driving away. I hated how he wasn't like, are you okay? Like, what happened? No, he's like, you found your mom? That's crazy. I was going to leave you, but I didn't. Isn't it crazy that I didn't leave you? Like, it's so crazy that I didn't leave because I was going to leave.
Isn't it crazy that I'm still here? Like, I'm still here for you.
Yeah. And then he gets shot.
They're being chased by the police and he gets shot.
Yeah. Car goes through a fence because she's still driving, but then they come to a halt. Whatever. I don't fucking care what happens at this part.
Wasn't he driving?
He was driving, but she took over.
Oh, yeah, she took over.
Which is crazy. She gets taken to the police and gets framed for all of these killings. Well, I mean, she was there for every single one of them.
So I guess I kind of get it.
Yeah.
But,
And then she is like, oh, my God, I hate it here. Like, I can't get out of this. I just want to be gone. I don't want to be here anymore. And you know who saves her?
Tommy.
I think Tommy likes her. You know that 7-foot man with a doughy head? I think he likes her.
That's disgusting.
And she kind of accepts it.
This was so weird.
So she tells Tommy, like, we got to get out of here, baba.
Yeah.
And they try to, but then they get shot at or like bombs or like a rocket launcher, I think.
Something attacks them, yeah.
And she's on fire.
Yeah.
But it's okay because Tommy puts his whole body like a security blanket around her. She is not on fire anymore, but he dies.
Oh, wait a minute. This is a love story?
I guess so.
Bitch, no one told me.
So then she's like, Tommy, baba, no one.
Not Tommy.
Okay, bye.
Literally.
Leaves him there. And she's, last chapter, decides to live at Rumplejack. And she's best friends with the Sausage King. I thought her and the Sausage King were going to fuck. I'll be honest with you. I was waiting for it.
I
was waiting for it.
So did I.
The Sausage King? Come on.
It's in the fucking name. Come on.
But they didn't. A little disappointed, I'm going to be honest. And she is living here, but she always feels like she's being watched. So then we go back. Remember Andy, the guy who was...
The Andy's Emporium guy
who had a best friend YouTube channel. His name was Serge. Serge is watching the third tape, and he's watching Becky.
So the tape is like cursed,
yes,
basically. So it gets to see whatever the hell is actually happening in real time at Rumplejack.
But Becky takes the tape, or takes the camera that's watching her, and breaks it. So I'm guessing breaks the curse.
I guess.
All of the bodies that used to be there are now gone. The villagers are all gone except for Sausage King, which
I mean, that's all that matters.
And she says that this is the happiest that she's ever felt. The end. Thoughts? How much did you love this book? From 5 to 5.
I feel so bad.
Yes.
To say this, okay? I'm going to start off by saying that I really enjoyed the heart. Literally, Cheli and I, we saw this title, Rotten Tommy, by David Sodergren, and we were both like, David Sodergren, why does that sound so familiar?
Yeah.
We looked it up, saw that it was the writer of The Heart, and
we gasped.
We were both like, we need to read it. we really enjoyed The Heart. Yeah. You more than I did, but I still really did enjoy it. I love talking about it. And so reading this book, I was so fucking disappointed.
And I was trying so hard to give it a chance.
But I'm going to be honest, I would have DNF'd this book had it not been for the podcast. I wanted to DNF it so bad.
Damn, I'm glad you
Out of through. Our bulk, this one took me the longest.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, because it's one of the shortest.
Yeah, it was a really short book.
The dialogue was bad.
Yes, it was really bad.
The gore was not needed. But
I will say that gore isn't necessarily like my thing. So I always think gore is not needed. So it's kind of like, okay, sure, whatever. But there are some that I'm like, okay, it's fine, I guess. I'll just accept it.
I didn't care, though. And I'm sad what they did with Larkin.
Yeah, they completely ruined his character. Oh, what? Oh, my God. We didn't even describe when Flora and John were murdered.
Oh, yeah. They were killed, by the way. They were at Becky's and John's house. I hated that all he wanted to do was have sex.
Literally. He was just like, let's have sex because Becky's not going to be home tonight.
And I think before he was killed, it was described like, I had just came in Becky's vagina. Remember? It was so fucking weird.
I don't remember that.
And yeah, and then she walks away and then she's on the floor naked and Tommy's there and she dies. And then he's running and it's describing how...
You mean Flora?
Yeah,
you said Becky.
Sorry, Flora. Flora's dead. And then it's describing John running and his flaccid penis is like hitting his leg as he runs because he's naked.
So big.
And then Tommy comes over and kneels down and looks at fucking John's penis. And John's first thought is like, do I give myself up to this man?
Oh my God.
Do I give it all?
Well, Tommy rips that shit right out of him. So.
Well, he doesn't just rip it off. He takes him upstairs while holding his penis. And fucking John can feel it ripping off while that's happening.
Disgusting. I didn't really want to get that descriptive, but okay.
I think that's kind of funny though. That's kind of like Loki. He was over here like, am I gonna get?
But the reason why this even happened was because Flora saw the VHS tape. She saw the one VHS tape, and she was like, "Oh, let me watch it." Because like, if my mom is on it, then I want to see what's up. And so that's why they were attacked. So you have to see the tape for Tommy to come out, basically.
One question.
Yes.
You remember that little rhyme where it's like, if you knock on the door, Tommy will gut you like a horse.
Well, yeah, I guess
that never happened.
No one got gutted. That's so sad.
No one knocked.
Oh.
no one knocked. Why was that a rhyme? Explain.
I think the knocking is supposed to be watching the tape, because I think that's supposed to like, you know what I mean? Invoke him.
I don't like it.
Me neither, but I think that's what it's supposed to be.
No, I think you're right. Also, the weird relationship between Tommy and Becky. I don't know if they're in love. I don't know if they're siblings. I don't know. Dude, I don't know what was wrong. Why did he see this 4-year-old and be like,
that one?
What the fuck? That's weird, Tommy.
That is weird.
10-foot Tommy. One. I give this a 1.
I would give this a 0.25. I feel like a 1 is way too generous.
If I could give it a 0.25 on Storygraphs, yes.
You can.
Yes. On Goodreads, I have to mark it as red. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I need to give it a 1.
Yeah, same.
David,
but no, it's a 0.25, okay?
David,
what happened?
The horror was so good, David. Do you not remember all the laughs we shared? I remembered what this reminded me of. That one show, the Can You Be My Neighbor?
I don't know that one.
Oh my God. Can you be my neighbor? Won't you be? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It was a kid's show. And it was this dude that hangs out with you in the neighborhood, but he interacts with inanimate objects. And it's a little off-putting, but
okay,
kind of a vibe.
You kind of love.
Yeah, I kind of ate that shit up. Actually, I didn't eat that shit up because I didn't have cable growing up.
Aww.
It's okay. We made do. If you're listening to us in audio form, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or anywhere you get your podcasts on, thank you so much. If you can please leave a rating of 5 stars because it helps us so much and it takes like 2 seconds to do, that would be great. And if you want to leave us a review, leaving us a recommendation for our next read, we're currently looking for reads in November. And I'm so scared all the time. Please give me something cozy. Dark romance is fine as long as it won't make me cry and question who I am outside of work. Whoa, this is a work. Okay, you know what I mean. Please, good vibes only. If you are supporting us and you have a little bit of extra money, what can they do?
So we do have a Patreon, and it really just serves as a way for our listeners to let us know that you really enjoy our content. You can find us on patreon.com/bookfix. But if you don't want the commitment of monthly, then you can find us on buymeacoffee.com/thebookfix or coffee, which is ko-fi.com/thebookfix.
If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you so much. If you can like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because we post every Tuesday and Thursday. We also post on Mondays sometimes, but I mean,
it's really just like a bonus.
It's a bonus thing. If you want to support us on social media, we do have an Instagram, Goodreads, and Threads at the Bookfix Pod, and a TikTok at the Bookfix. Okay, so at the end, we like to read a positive and negative review of the book we talked about. I will read the negative because I think
I have my positive.
I have my negative. I think you should go first.
Okay, so my positive review comes from Brandon. They gave it 5 out of 5, and they wrote, "So fun. David does campy, gory horror like none other. Anytime you pick up one of his books, you know you'll have a great time. This is pretty different from his other stuff, in my opinion. Things get weird, but it's still recognizably Sodergren. It has a sort of found footage feel I think a lot of horror fans would appreciate. And it gave me Silent Hill vibes in a way, mixed with Children of the Corn in another. Can't wait for what he comes up with next."
This one is written by, who gave it a 1 out of 5.
I love that name.
It's funny. Nah, bro. You don't write lame stuff like this after writing a masterpiece like The Har. Not good for your writing career. There was absolutely nothing in this story. As exciting as a grocery list, and got progressively worse. Seems like something written in 2 weeks where the author got bored after first week. Maybe Sodergren read Cillian Patrick Burke's Milestone series and was like, heck, I can write something like this, and ended up writing stuff that he could not figure out how to end. The third act of this story is heavily padded with the word Jason Statham, and the big corporation protecting this mystery around Rumplejack was so comically laughable that I could not help imagine David Sodergren watching The Cabin in the Woods few days before he finished this novel. David Sodergren needs to get rid of all of his yes men around him, and the number one in that list should be Steve Stred. This scratching each other's backs is clearly not working for them, as I can see both of their work suffering really bad. They need to break up.
Not Steve Catching Strays. Who the fuck is that?
I don't fucking know. Steve Stred. I guess it's another writer who's not.
Okay. Anyway, well, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye. Okay. How could we have fixed this story? We need to help our boy David out. Not enough things that can shapeshift into a beautiful man. That was the first mistake.
I just don't understand Rotten Tommy's person. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, what is it? Is it a ghost? Is it a demon?
Yeah,
why was it killed so easily?
Wait, you mean to tell me no one has thought of killing Rotten Tommy?
Yeah.
Also, I would have just bullied the shit out of Rotten Tommy.
Like fucking
you smell like ass. I know, clown. You smell like ass. Get the fuck out of here, rotten ass Tommy. And he would have just been like, oh
shit, I'm going home then. Wait a minute. Wasn't there a scene in this book when they went to go meet up like with some old guy?
Yeah, we talked about it. That's the guy that died.
No.
Yeah, we talked. I mentioned it in like one sentence where it's like, yeah, they met him up, and he was like, this is where fucking Rumplejack is. By the way, I'm gonna die. Peace out.
Who the fuck was that?
He was on the show. I think he was Jacob, actually. No, Jacob
was dead.
Yeah.
It could have been William, though. I have no idea.
No, it wasn't William. It was just some dude.
What happened to William?
He probably died. Who knows?
He hated everything.
Honestly,
so.
maybe if Rotten Tommy wasn't so rotten.
Have we considered making Rotten Tommy sexy Tommy?
Oh, wait, hold on. Rotten Tommy's 10 feet tall. 10 feet, you can have more pack on your 6-pack. Tommy 47 pack. Hear me out. Oh my God, wait. TM. It belongs to David, but David, just give it to us.
Wait, I'm confused.
Wait.
I'm a little bit confused. Wait, hold on. I have a question.
Yes. Go.
Wasn't Rotten Tommy supposed to be a child?
But he grew up.
Okay. So he grew up.
To Rotten Thomas. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, he did grow up. He was a child. and progressively just started smelling worse and growing up and became rotten tummy. Wait, so is he human?
I don't know.
Also, I'm sorry. Why he look like that? Like it never described.
Why he built like that?
Why he built like that? What it was never described.
I don't know. David?
Tommy?
Mr. Sodergren, if you're watching this, let us know.
Thank you.